big interview with us about the fact that it's 197 days now since the government boycotted us, and we discussed the irony of the fact that the person leading the boycott, Lee Kane, who's the Director of Communications at Downing Street...
I've never met him.
...used to dress up as a chicken.
You
big,
know him
giant
well.
yellow chicken, to harangue Conservative ministers in the street for not taking part in TV debates. There he is. And now he's the one leading the ban on any TV debate for his ministers. That's him as the chicken. So the mirror's big spread there. Thanks to Tom, like that, about why we think there's been such a dereliction of their duty. And if you missed all the fun yesterday...
oh, yeah, we did get...
Before we get to the fun,
oh,
Lee Kane, you're not going to believe this. Lee Kane, who's been the Director of Communications during, inarguably, the worst period of Downing Street communications in history, is going to be promoted. He's going to be promoted to Chief of Staff. I mean, it's like something out of Veep, isn't it? All the thick of it. It's like, right, who's been the most useless person in the building, other than Dominic Cummings? Lee Kane, because he's the Director of Communications when everyone agrees it's been a total disaster. Oh, in that case, Lee, you've been so bad, I'm promoting you to my Chief of Staff. Well done, Lee. Fantastic.
Does that mean that he goes out of the communications department, which means there might be a new Director of Communications who might then agree to interviews with Good Morning Britain? Could happen. Yesterday, we managed to get an interview with a government minister. It wasn't what they'd intended. This was Nick Dixon.
A lot of attention, this.
Ambushing the Health Secretary outside the BBC.
Why have you avoided and boycotted Good Morning Britain for 196 days? Piers and Susanna desperately keen to talk to you.
Well,
and our viewers want to hear from you.
Well,
why not come on the show?
I'm very happy to be talking to you this morning. And especially as, you know, we've got this promising news this morning. And I'm sure we can have that discussion.
When will you come on and talk to Piers and Susanna?
Oh,
how about tomorrow?
As soon as... I'll come on as soon as I possibly can.
We've got time for you tomorrow. We'll make a special slot for you tomorrow. Running order, it's entirely clear, just for
very
you.
kind of you. Unfortunately, I have got something in the diary tomorrow morning.
That's
and I've got an awful lot of work to do to get this vaccine rolled out. Thanks very much.
Is this vaccine the news we've been waiting for, then?
He was happy to talk to Nick Dixon for a moment, but as soon as Nick Dixon said, would you like to do a more substantive interview?
All they want, they're a bit like Russian
with
officials.
Me and you.
They're like Russian or North Korean officials. If they're just imparting information they want you just to put out as propaganda, which makes them look good, they're available to anybody who wants to talk to them. But if you dare to ask a more difficult question, like why have you boycotted a major TV show for the entire duration of the last 6 months?
Suddenly the atmosphere gets chilly.
Suddenly it all goes a bit frosty, doesn't it? You may remember, it's all, of course, led by the top. You may remember before the election when Boris Johnson promised us 3 times he'd do an interview on Good Morning Britain. And then when we tried to hold him to his promise, he ran into a fridge and hid in a fridge.
Will you deliver on your promise to come on Good Morning Britain?
Of course I will.
Thank you very much. Will you do that this morning for us?
Is that all right now? Is that going to fall off?
Mr Johnson, will you have 5 minutes? You're live on Good Morning Britain. Could you talk to Piers and Susanna for me?
I'll be with you in a second.
Yeah, I have an earpiece here in my hands, ready to go.
Right, he's been taken inside, into the freezer.
He's gone into the fridge. Yeah,
Come in here and cool down,
I'll be with you in
Prime
a second, tooting my bugle. Well, he hasn't. It was a long second, wasn't it, Boris? Because it's now, where are we? We're in, we're nearly the end of the year, aren't we? It's been nearly a year.
Almost a year.
Year's anniversary of I'll be a second, says Boris Johnson. I wonder how many people he said that to over the years. Anyway, the boycott goes on. We'll carry on holding them to account.
200 days at the weekend it'll be since we officially spoke to a government minister.
It's so pathetic, honestly.
Matt Hancock, you're very welcome this morning. As Nick Dixon said, you are invited onto the programme this morning.
Hancock's never going to come on here. Remember what happened last time he came on? Last time he came on, because what he didn't like was the way I was misreading the room. Do you remember? Why is it that the reality is that we turned out to be so underprepared?
That's not true. And
that is true.
Well, it's not, and I'm about to...
It's plainly true, isn't it? You haven't had enough PPE, you haven't got enough tests, you didn't have enough ventilators. What was it you were prepared for?
Piers, I think you're slightly misjudging the public mood, because I've come on
I don't give a damn about the public mood. I care about you answering my questions.
I've come on this programme to answer the questions, and I was just about to do that. You asked me about 4 questions in that series, and I'm going to now go through each one of them in turn, and I'd really appreciate it if you didn't interrupt me, OK?
He's like a sort of bossy school teacher, isn't he? Middle ranking, wants to be headmaster, never quite got the got the job. So he sort of takes it out on everyone with his bossy, dismissive little style. But that was he couldn't deal with that. He found that intolerable, being asked difficult questions, like why were you underprepared for the pandemic? So that was the last we saw of him. Last we ever saw of Matt Hancock.